Would you want Ndamukong Suh in the Detroit Lions uniform next year for the correct price? We back Motor City Sports Talk in the building. More of a question than a video. But in my opinion, I wouldn't want Ndamukong Suh back. I'm more of the youth movement for the Detroit Lions. I understand Ndamukong Suh is still a talented player. I still feel like even after we talked about earlier how he said he wanted to be in Detroit, that I really think he didn't want to stay in Detroit after, comments his sister made about getting out of here. Just the whole nine about stories came up that how he didn't want to be in Detroit. And I still believe that. We thought he can come back this season. He didn't come back. I don't think he respected the organization after they didn't give him the money that he demanded. Like he said today, he wasn't a priority. And in addition to that, he's just older. You know what I'm saying? This dude produced 59 tackles this year, only 4.5 sacks next to Aaron Donald. And Aaron Donald got double teamed 60% of the time and still produced 20.5 sacks. And Ndamukong Suh, in my opinion, seems not to be the player that he was in Detroit. I seen drop off in Miami. I seen drop off going to Miami to LA. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, he is getting older. He is playing in the trenches. And him and J.J. Watt seem to be declining, together. And I'm not saying that he's declined like J.J. Watt's decline as far as his physical health. But, he ain't the player that he once was in Ndamukong Suh. And maybe, he was more of a system player than anything else. He's 32 years old. You know what I'm saying? He's 32 years old. He done played a long time in NFL. Almost 10 years in NFL. And I know people attached to Suh love to have Suh back, but I can't remember exactly what he's making with the Rams this year. It's like $14 million this year or whatever. He's gonna look to cash in next year in his last big contract, a multi-year contract. He probably gonna move on from the Rams, but he ain't out there screaming that he's demanding top 5 or even Geno Atkins type of money from the defensive tackle position. So you probably can get him at a bargain deal. And maybe Detroit will overpay to have him, or Detroit just want to continue rolling with Snack Harrison and the Deshaun Hand and Ashawn Robinson experiment in the middle, which no longer I think is something that's going to produce dividends and wins, or at least impact on defense. I mean, I don't think this defense needs Ndamukong Suh no more. Not a 32-year-old Ndamukong Suh, and that's just like a Detroit thing to do. The Detroit thing to do is to, welcome back an old washed-up player back into the fold. Okay, Detroit love getting the old washed-up players. May have been Chris Webber, or may have been, Rasheed Wallace. He was a little older when he got here, even though he still could produce. May was bringing back old Ben Wallace, or just bringing back older players. Man, no, we need to continue with a youth movement. You build a base or a foundation of a team with the youth movement, in my opinion. That's how you do it. You do it with young, talented players from the NFL draft. Ndamukong Suh had this opportunity to be here. In my opinion, I don't believe he's a Hall of Fame NFL player. I don't care if he get a Super Bowl this year or whatnot. He had a good thing going in Detroit. He was the guy in Detroit. The defense was built around him. Them days is over with. And I understand that the fans truly love Ndamukong Suh in Detroit. And, I liked him. I loved him when he was here as well, too. He gave us a nasty, tenacious, vicious identity along with a dirty reputation. But I take that with, a lot of the things good things he did on the field and in the trenches. But at this point in his career, 32 years old, 33-year-old probably the time next season start or end, I'm good, man. For what? We said a defensive tackle. We just need another young buck in there. And if they keep Ashawn Robinson, I'm cool with that. And Ndamukong Suh ain't the player that he once was when he left here. And that's what people got to understand. He's no longer that guy. That guy came and went, and he gave all he wanted. And I think a lot of that was due to him. He was, in my opinion, he was a system player with Detroit. This system fit him. And when he went to Miami, he did a lot. He had an impact, but he didn't have them seasons that he had in Detroit where he was just a monster. He didn't have those seasons. They didn't win nothing in Miami. But at the end of the day, when you wake up, you walk outside, and you on South Beach, and you in a beautiful weather, beautiful climate in the area, of course you're going to trade that in for, basically being the same team you was in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? As a marginable, every now and again playoff team. But he had it good here. He was on track to be a Hall of Fame type player here, and he went to Miami. He sold his soul for riches. He sold his soul for, a great city, a beautiful city and scenery. And pretty much he fell off, even with the Rams. Look at this, 4.5 sacks next to Aaron Donald. That's pathetic. But that's my personal opinion. Let me know if you want Ndamukong Suh back and what price would you pay. Don't forget he's 32 years old and he's declining in his performance, in my opinion. More to see Sports Talk. It's your boy CJ Goodfellow. Don't forget we on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Reach out to the email if you got a business question to inquire. You want to make a donation to the channel. That link's always there as well. Do me one better. Share the videos. No longer be uploading, auto sharing to Twitter. YouTube, quit that.